It is a very rare occurrence that you need a draw shot this long. But what this gives you is a bunch of other shots. So even though that shot, getting on this position, may be a rare occurrence, that shot getting on this position means that you can make all the other shots in this video. So let's take a look and I'll show you how to work your way up to these shots. This shot is going to look kind of advanced to some of you, but this is a prerequisite to some of the other shots that you're going to see in this video. And this shot can do a lot for you. I've shown you this recently in some other videos, but it is worth talking about again. You're on the 3, you need to get on the 5, and you want to have an angle on the 5 when you get down table. So what you do is you shoot this draw shot here, but with low left. So your cue ball is spinning when it comes off and gets you all the way down table. Now it looks like a very long draw shot, but what it is a shot with running English. So you're drawing it back about 2 feet, and the English is what takes it down table, and then you're all set. And if you like, you can shoot another draw shot low left, and you can get on the 8 ball that way. So yes, this is a makeable shot, right? So just an idea of how a draw shot with English can do some great things for you. This is not an easy shot because of the distance that we're shooting this ball and the amount of English that we're going to put on it combined make it difficult. But we're on the 6 and we want to get on the 8 where we don't have to shoot a bank shot. We can play the 8 down there because this pocket is blocked. So we shoot this with low left, come off of this rail and spin the cue ball over here to give us a relatively straight shot on the 8 in the corner. So the shot looks like this. Bunch of left-hand English. We have a much better shot than if we had drawn it straight back and we had to bring it in from over here. So now it's very makeable down there in that corner pocket, just like that. Great shot. As I said, if you have that one, you've got a lot of the shots. Let's look at something else. Okay, gang, I'm going to show you a couple variations of this same shot. One of my favorites, if you watch the channel, you've seen it. We're going to shoot a draw shot here where we come off of this rail and this rail to get down table for position on this 8. The first choice would be to go forward. High left, we come off of 3 rails. Nothing fancy needed. But we run into that 14 and we are what they call rackers at that point. So we are going to play low left here, come off of those rails. You can see that cue ball curve as it came down there. It had so much English on it. And we have perfect position on this 8 ball to win the game. So let's look at what happens from a couple different angles. Let's say we're on this side of the ball and we want to do the same thing. It's the same shot, guys. It's low left. We come off the short rail and the long rail. And we come down here and hit pretty much the same spot. And again, we have perfect position on the 8 ball. Work that shot. It is not easy, but if you're a high intermediate player and you don't think you have that shot, give it a try because there is a chance that you have it and you just don't realize it. Let's look at a couple other things. Nothing seems to drive people nuts more than shots that are close to the rail. You get them close to the rail and you say, put it in that pocket, they hate that shot. What's even worse is you got to get back down here. Now what do? This shot is low left. Again, none of these are beginner shots. If you're a beginner and you're watching this video, keep watching because this is what is possible. These are the things you can do. You may have never seen these shots before, but you can build up to these shots. So we need to play low left-hand English, come off of this rail, and get back down here for this 8 ball. So the shot looks like this. Not a simple shot. If you have that in your game, and that's the point of these shots, none of them are layups, but if you have this shot in your game, you have got a ton of other shots in your game that you can get on just by knowing these shots. Anytime someone asks me about speed control, the first thing I tell them is do things that don't require you to have good speed control. Like say you want to draw back and get position on this 8. Now, I can shoot this all day and pull up right here on this 8 ball. But I recognize, because of so many players that I'm exposed to, that not everybody has that little touch. So what happens is I see shots that look like this. They draw it back, and now they come around and they're on this side of the 3 ball, and they play the best safety that's been played all day on themselves. So one of the things that you can do with English is the same effects that allow you to run these balls from one end of the table to the other can also help you stall the ball. So if you let out your stroke on this shot, you can actually put left-hand English on it, causing the ball to stall and not run off as far when it hits this rail. So this is left-hand English. So now the ball doesn't want to go anywhere. You see it just pull up and stop, and you stay up on this ball. So it's one of 1,000 ways you can use English to stall the ball so that it doesn't overrun. Because all of these shots where you're coming near the rail, guys, your thought should be touching the rail, not coming close, but touching the rail and bouncing off the rail. And that shot allows you to bounce off the rail without worrying about overrunning the shot. I'm going to really drill this one, show you. This is low left again. As hard as I could hit it, the ball's not going anywhere. We are still in line with this 8 ball. I showed you guys this shot in some other videos, but it's worth repeating. We're on the 3 and we need to get on the 8. One thing you could do, if you have perfect speed control, is come off of that rail and pull up just like that for that 8. Do you have that speed control? I hope you do, but if you don't, because I don't always have it, if you don't, what you could do, come off of this rail and watch what happens. We are now moving in line with the shot. It only gets better and better. I stop it here, I'm straight in. I stop it here, I'm straight in. That's 5 feet of bad speed control I could have, and I'm still straight in on that ball. You try to cross the line of that shot, you better have good speed control, or you're here, or something crazy. So that's just an example of 1,000 different ways you can use that shot to move in line with the shot. I tell people all the time, you got to move in line with the shot, and they say, well, I don't see the line. There's no line. There's nothing, no opportunity there. Yeah, it's there. You just have to see it. Sometimes you're coming backwards to get to it. Sometimes you're adding English to get to it. But that line is there all the time. Okay, gang, we are on the 1. We need to get on the 8. We're going to assume that there's traffic and we can't go forward with this shot. We could shoot a draw shot, which would bring us off of this rail with a bunch of right-hand spin. That cue ball comes down here with running English. We get a legitimate shot on the 8. This is not a layup. Advanced players, you've got this shot. Intermediate players, I want you to know about it so you can work up to it. And beginner players, I want you to see what is possible, because there's a lot of things that you guys never get to see because it's not going to come up in your APA match. You got 5, 10 guys in your region that might be able to shoot these shots, so you don't get to see them very often, but I want you to see some of the things that are possible. So we shoot this with low right-hand English. We're going to end up coming off of this rail, and we have enough spin to bring our cue ball down here. Shot looks like this. And now we have a legitimate chance to make this 8 ball, well, more than legitimate, it's a layup at this point. And we're out where we would not have had a shot otherwise. So it's not a simple shot. From some angles, you can even get further down table than I did. Very important point about all the shots in this video. Because they involve English, and some of them involve English and distance, You have certain things you need to deal with. You need to deal with deflection. You need to deal with curve. You need to deal with throw. The cue ball is throwing the object ball to one side or the other. You're getting some deflection off of your cue. I have a low deflection cue. You still get deflection off a low deflection cue. It's just less. All of those things take place with these shots. So putting the ball in the pocket is not always as easy as it looks. Make sure you understand that you're going to have some other obstacles. These shots are magnified in difficulty, but if you can get the easier ones in your game, the more difficult ones probably never come up, but you will get an opportunity to do a lot more things when you can make these shots. So keep that in mind. So that was a small sampling of a ton of things you can do when you apply English to draw shots. And as you could see, every example I gave you involved coming off the rail. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.